What's up, everybody? Gajewski here, back again with the Awesemo team. And today we are going to be discussing some college football ahead of week 10. We have our friends at PrizePicks and some props to get into over there. But before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. And without further ado, we will bring you over there. Here is the PrizePicks platform. We have 4 up, 4 down for you today. We're taking a look at some of the most underpriced props ahead of week 10. We're going to start with Georgia, taking a look at Brock Bowers. It is Georgia taking on Missouri, and this prop is at 62.5. We are going to look at the under at. First things first, Georgia is favored by nearly 40 points here. If they have their starters in the game for long at all, they are projected to run the ball heavily, which does not favor the Brock Bowers prop. From there, there's a really interesting trend with Georgia. They were extremely hurt to begin the year. Brock Bowers kind of out of necessity just had to play every snap, function as the wide receiver 1. But since then, he's been splitting time with John Fitzpatrick. Darnell Washington, their other tight end, former 5-star from a year ago, he's returned from injury as well. Had a broken foot in pre-camp injury for him. So now there's 3 tight ends, and Brock Bowers' route rate dropped to just 56% in the last week. Not to mention the receivers, Adonai Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, Jermaine Burton, Kyrus Jackson, Marcus Rosemy-Jackson, they're all healthy now. And Brock Bowers, if we look at his target volume, he hasn't seen more than 6 targets in any of the last 4 games. And he has just 1 6-target game out of the last 4. In the other 3 games, he was at 2 targets or less. With a prop here at 62.5 yards, this is one that's an easy under for us. He projects about 20 yards short of this. So we'll go under Brock Bowers, tight end for Georgia. And then we'll hit some rushing props. A lot of good rushing props standing out today. First one, we'll take a look down at Ohio State back Trevion Henderson. This prop might seem high. It's 97.5, but the over is the best play here. Ohio State is playing Nebraska. Henderson has been banged up for a lot of the time this year, and he's suffered from game script. And what I mean by that is they've been up by so many points that sometimes they haven't needed him. In this game, Ohio State is a 14.5-point favorite, 15 in some spots, which is close enough. And Master Teague is still questionable for the game, which reduces the backfield down to 2. And in the same situation last week, which ended up being a close game against Penn State, Trevion Henderson carries the ball 28 times to Mayan Williams 3. On that volume, he projects for about 150 rushing yards. If you reduce this to a timeshare even a little bit, Henderson still clears the 97.5 pretty easily. Nebraska plays solid defense overall, but with Ohio State's rushing efficiency, it's not one you're scared of whatsoever. So we'll hit the over on Trevion Henderson. This is strong play, even at an elevated prop. From here, we'll scroll down a little bit. There's a few other rushing props that really stand out. One in particular is Trey Siegers for SMU taking on Memphis. This is one of the premier game environments of the weekend. It's a 71-point total, which suggests a lot of yardage should be accrued in this game. And SMU is the favorite, which means perhaps we see game script in their favor, a lot of rushing plays overall. Not to mention, Memphis allows 166 rush yards per game, which is not the best which isn't the best defense overall. So Siegers benefits from all that. Then you have Ulysses Bentley aggravating his injury again. Bentley has now come and gone from injury 3 times this year, and they just cannot get him right. After he left last week's game and did not return, there's a strong possibility he misses this. The current PrizePicks line suggests there will be a timeshare, but there's a very real possibility that it is just Siegers out there by himself in one of the most competitive, explosive scoring game environments on the slate. So hitting the over 61.5 yards on Siegers makes some sense. And the last one here, we're going to go to one that might be a little bit down narrative street, but it is one I think that has value nonetheless. Desmond Ritter, Cincinnati quarterback, 18.5 rushing yards. This is a guy that has been a premier dual threat throughout his career, and we just haven't seen it this year. Overall, Cincinnati has taken their foot off the gas in a lot of game scripts that have been positive, and they perhaps could have scored more points. Now that they were ranked outside the top 4 of the college football playoff, I think there's a chance they stopped taking their foot off the gas and really tried to hone in on some of the explosiveness of the offense. Last year, Ritter was an excellent dual threat quarterback. He had over 6 games with 40-plus yards rushing, 7 games, and he only has 2 this year. So I think they return more to what we saw last year. 18.5 yards for Ritter is pretty ridiculous. If you even project him close to last year's output, he exceeds this by 20-plus yards. Right now, based on median projections, he's at 45 yards overall. So take the narrative for what it's worth. This is a good projection even without the narrative. the over that is. And then you consider the fact that they may now try to just blow out their opponents. They're playing Tulsa this week as double-digit favorites, 22.5 points. Ritter is a great move towards the over here. But that'll do it for us. Thank you to our friends at PrizePicks. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite prop is, which side. I'm on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. I am Matt Gajewski, of course. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you again next time.